So welcome to the review of the 2022 Mercedes C-Class, internally known as the W206. I've promised this a while ago, however, due to dealer stock shortages worldwide, you know, the whole capacitor and whatever shortages, tire shortages, caused them not to have an available demo. So the one that we are in today is actually the C220 diesel. According to its performance display, it's making 143 kilowatts and about 400 newton meters torque, which is actually very nice. I drove the C200 previously, and I have to say the C220 is so much nicer to drive. The engine sounds nicer, it's more refined, and when you give it some beans together with a mild hybrid system, it really goes. It's not a supercar by any means. But you've got enough power to overtake confidently and to cruise at autobahn speeds. So I've driven two different types of 206s, as just mentioned. I've driven the C200 petrol and I'm now on the C220 diesel. However, another difference between the two cars is that the C200 did not have an AMG line, whereas this one does. And what I can tell you is, even though both drive the same and handle the same, I personally would not recommend the AMG line for the simple reason that it scrapes on everything. I just drove over a speed bump and it scraped, and I was driving less than 40 k's an hour. I think I was doing 30 or maybe even 20, and it scraped. It looks gorgeous, it's just really unpractical. This specific color, it's a dark gray metallic. It's beautiful. It accentuates the car's lines very well. However, I would have chosen a bit lighter color, like a Mojave silver. This specific one is not very highly spec'd. It doesn't have an ambient lighting package and a few little nitty-gritty things like that. However, it's still a very pleasant cabin to be. You have lots of space. Everything feels nice. If I'd have to criticize it somehow, I'd have to say that the material on the dashboard, which you can choose between some wood and some aluminium trims and whatever this car has, I'd definitely recommend the wood trim. It looks a lot nicer. So here on the outside of the 2022 W206, we can see it's very minimalist in style. It's not very overdone, it's very basic, which is good because that means cars age better. If they're overstyled, hinting at Audi, they look good currently, but not in 10 years time. And that's something Mercedes has gotten right over the years, is to make a car look good for a long period of time. However, a few things I want to note. These taillights are gorgeous. The indicators are here on the bottom. Let's see if I can get those activated. They're here on the bottom. I've got some reflectors down here together with the parking sensors. And then I'll call them not exhaust tips, they're just tips, because there's nothing, it's closed, there's no exhaust, the exhaust is underneath. On these AMG models, or AMG line as I like to call them, you have a diffuser. Not sure whether it's actually functional or not, but it's there. You've got quite good trunk space if I unlock the car. Got very good trunk space. I don't think these come with a spare wheel. No, they don't. You just get a tire repair kit and a towing hook. However, for going on holidays, long distance trips, it's the ideal amount of boot space. I'm sure a family of 4 will get right. If it's a family of 4 women, I'm not so sure, but if it's a normal family, then it should be just fine. These AMG models come with, I believe these are 18s or 19-inch rims. These will be 19s. These are 19 inches with Goodyear tires. Ride's surprisingly comfortable. I've driven, as I mentioned before, the 206 without AMG line. It has 18-inch rims. I can't feel a difference in terms of comfort. Maybe if I get out of the one and into the other, it's been a probably a month now since I've driven the other one. I can't really feel a big difference. Once again, there's not much going on. It's very simple, very elegantly styled. I would have preferred a lighter color like Mojave, because these cars look amazing in Mojave silver. The doors are fairly light. It's probably because they're made from aluminium or aluminum, as you like to pronounce it. They also worked off very nice, and they close quite nicely. What really surprised me about this car is how big the front brakes are. They are about the same size as my C55 AMG, and this is a C220 diesel. I'm not sure how many pistons those calipers are. I assume they're 4-piston. It looks like about a 340mm disc. Once again, don't quote me on that, I don't actually know. Here at the front, we have some LED headlights, which I'm not sure if they're optional or whether they're standard. You've got this extremely low bumper with some mud guards, I assume, flaps that are hanging up here. Can you close in on that, this thing? And that's what scrapes over every speed bump. We tested it just now, driving 30 kilometers an hour over a quite smooth speed bump. It just doesn't work. You have to go 15, 20 k's an hour, otherwise it will scrape. There's nothing you can do about it. It will scrape. Some people in America that like cars that scrape, go buy one of these. It will do the job. One of my favorite parts of this car, as well as Ricardo is busy filming, is this grille. You see it has these beautiful Mercedes, I can almost call them diamonds. As you can see here, this car is prepared to have a 360 camera, but it doesn't actually have one. So you sit with this little blank. Also, it doesn't have Distronic, so the badge isn't solid. It's a plastic one. Let's have a look inside. So when you get to the doors, they're very beautifully designed. What I like especially is the way you can grab this entire section of the door to close the door. They incorporated your window switches with a door handle, which I really like. Drawback being that aluminium gets quite full of fingerprints. Also, they made quite a lot of use of piano black, which can also be subject to scratches and fingerprints. However, generally it's a very nice cabin to be. It's very quiet and comfortable as well. So what makes this 206 so special? I mean, you get the BMW 3 Series, you get the Audi A4, all good cars. You actually can't buy a bad car anymore these days. The 206 is so special because it has something to prove. Throughout the C-Class lineup, which started with the W201, then the 202, the 203, which I own, 204, I have owned one before, the 205, and then now this 206. The best C-Class ever was the 204. It was just the best all-round C-Class. And with the 205, they made a shift into a new direction in terms of design and in terms of driving. And I believe the recipe just wasn't perfectly spot on. It was still ahead of the competition. However, it wasn't perfectly spot on. And with the 206, I believe somebody there in Stuttgart and Sindelfingen had a few beers and had some bratwurst and really thought this through, because I can't really fault the car majorly. Yes, I can criticize a few things, but I can't fault it. It's just genuinely good. Everything you touch feels nice. It drives awesome. The fuel consumption is amazing. However, a few things to criticize. The steering wheel doesn't have buttons. It's all touch, which is fine. It's perfectly fine. However, it does take some getting used to. If you are somebody who's quickly overwhelmed when you push the wrong button, you might want to take your time and listen closely to what your sales executive tells you upon delivery of the vehicle. Yeah, we were doing 20 km an hour. It's great. Second thing I could criticize is in the center of the console, maybe if you can just point here quickly, this thing, it requires quite a lot of force to open and close, which is fine. It's just unexpected because everything is so easy. The steering wheel is light, the indicator is light, everything is light to the touch and soft to the touch, and you get this, which is quite heavy. But once again, this is really nitpicking on the car. Besides for that, I can't really fault it. We'll see in a few years' time how they keep up in terms of reliability and durability. However, Mercedes together have developed with EQ this 48-volt mild hybrid system.
How can I help?
No, Mercedes, I didn't talk to you.
In order to use online functions of the voice system, please check your Mercedes Me settings.
Okay, so this hybrid system has been in the market for, I believe, 2 or 3 years now. In, for example, the GLE, the GLS, and it has proven itself to be quite reliable thus far. I'm sure there are 1 or 2 occasions where some people have had issues, but that's with any car, whether you're buying a Lamborghini, a Bentley, a Rolls Royce, or even a Koenigsegg. No car is perfect. My favorite point of this car will most likely have to be the interior. The screens in front of you and the screens beside you, just really, everything is in the perfect spot. Let's scrape together. Everything is in the perfect place. It's just really well thought through. You can really see the Germans had a lot of drinking time and a lot of beer time to think this through. And what a great job they have done. So, welcome back to my C55. I'd just like to take a moment to thank M+Z Motors for loaning me the 206 for the day to record some footage with for you guys. They are always very polite and kind. Well, they're my friends actually, so to me they're always polite and kind. And they always take good care of my 55 when she's broken, which is a lot. So I'd highly recommend you to go and have a go there, drink a coffee, talk to one of the sales execs, and have them make you a deal. I'll link their info in the description, website, Facebook, socials, and so on. And if you phone them, please just store them. You watched a YouTube video from some German dude in Namibia and you liked it. Thanks. Have a great day.